Hey everybody, welcome back to Vegas Tips and Tricks Weekly, and we are about to have an epic fancy show. No, we're not. It's April Fool's. I guess that's going to be our April Fool's joke of the day. Um, give a little backstory here. We are going to talk kind of about the theme we were going to talk about on the show, and we were going to make it fancy. And I apologize because we probably could have pulled something together that would have been a little more interesting than what we're going to talk about today. But I think what we're going to talk about today is actually kind of fun. And I hope that those of you who have been partaking in, shall we say, in Las Vegas entertainment of various sources over the past generation or so will comment below with some of your thoughts on this topic today. But no, yeah, and let me just give kind of a little backstory on this because it was probably 6 to 8 weeks ago that the wife was like, you know what you should do? You should do like kind of an April Fool's show. And I was like, well, I don't know, but that actually kind of sounds cool. And we would maybe review mythical casinos and then kind of do a sort of April Fool's at the end. The problem with that, well, there's a couple problems with that. First problem with that is y'all are too freaking smart. And you would figure out very quickly when I start talking about the Montecito or whatever casino that the show was kind of a little bit tongue in cheek. The second is it's not really that easy to find sort of good clips from some of the shows and movies, TV shows to actually illustrate some of our points. But we're going to talk a little bit about that today. And again, I encourage you to share any sort of memories you have about Las Vegas television and movies and sort of mythical casinos. I think about, wow, now I can't really think about what it was called in the movie Casino, which I think was based upon what actually happened at the Stardust Hotel. And some of the exteriors were shot outside of the Riviera Hotel, but I can't for the life of me actually remember the name of the hotel that they used in the movie. So definitely share that below as well. Before we get started, I am starting to like try to get what I'm going to call, I guess, I don't know, Vegas 60, JR 60, the birthday celebration coming up in September. And as we start finalizing some of those plans, if there's any sort of public events, we'll definitely let you all know. Okay, so I started thinking about this. We started thinking about this. Like I said, 6, 8 weeks ago, we started watching a new show on Peacock, one of those streaming services. This one's kind of run by NBC, called Poker Face. And the very first episode featured a casino called the Frost Casino. And immediately after seeing sort of the backdrop of the different hotels there, I was like, that those exteriors at least were shot in Laughlin, which apparently is true. And I don't remember for sure. Again, correct me in the comments below. But I think they used the facade of the Riverside Casino there in Laughlin, which may or may not have been one of those casinos that did not survive COVID, to actually show the Frost Casino marquee. By the way, if you haven't seen Poker Face, definitely a very entertaining show. Those of you old enough to remember the old Sunday night murder mysteries on NBC, particularly Columbo, will definitely see some very similar kinds of plot lines. And like I said, we really enjoyed it. We watched all the episodes. Looking forward to season 2. But again, that first season is filmed, at least the exteriors there, in and around Laughlin and the Frost Casino. I remember, I think there's like a scene inside the casino, which I thought was awesome. It like in the backdrop, you can see what they call the Loser's Lounge, which I don't know if any real casino would actually use that, but I thought Loser's Lounge was an awesome name for a bar, particularly at a casino. So check that out if you haven't. I mentioned the old Las Vegas TV show, which featured the Montecito Casino. And I'm sure a lot of you watched that. I watched it off and on. I mean, the staff here was just uniformly way too good looking. I mean, what's going on here? Anyway, and you could never quite figure out where the Montecito was. Because in one episode it would seem to be like way on the south end of the strip. In another episode, if you looked, it seemed kind of mid strip or north strip. So yeah, if you remember any of that, if any of you have like really followed that show closely and can remember some of the, I guess, discontinuity, some of the confusion about where that property actually might have been located. I was originally remember thinking it was right around where the Monte Carlo is, which would kind of make sense, or where the Monte Carlo was, which would kind of make sense. But there were discrepancies that did not work out at all. But hey, again, kind of a fun show. James Caan said a cast of hundreds, dozens, all very pretty people, and lots of sort of casino drama. So, which reminds me of the previous Vegas TV show, Vegas, with Dan Tana. Vegas with the dollar signs at the end. I always loved that show because of the discontinuity of like the intro, where you're driving along, or even on the show you're driving along and you pass Stardust, and like 2 seconds later you pass like Tropicana, and it doesn't make any sense. But anyway, the other casino that I remember from movies and televisions, well, television, um, would have been that scary, weird casino that they used in Vegas Vacation. And doing some research for today's show, I discovered that they actually filmed some of those interiors at the old Klondike Casino, which was right around, I guess, I think it was like 5200, 5300 South Las Vegas Boulevard. It closed in like the early 2000s. I mean, it was one of those smaller places, kind of had like gimmicks as far as, you show up and, they give you a buffet or whatever. But I mean, who can forget the game of war or whatever, which they eventually actually created. There's no jokes in Las Vegas, and the crazy buffet with more of the yellow stuff. So that was kind of cool, and I didn't realize that was filmed there. Of course, most of the interior shots were actually at the Mirage, soon to be the Hard Rock. Um, Yes, we talked about the Montecito. We talked about the Frost Casino. We talked about the casino there in Vegas Vacation. Of course, the original Ocean's 11 and the follow up Ocean's 11 in the 21st century, in that case, talking about Bellagio, but the follow up, it talked about a mythical casino called the Bank Casino. Another mythical casino along the way. And there really, I guess, at some point probably was a Casino Royale. There is one on the Las Vegas Strip. But in the movie Casino Royale, we discovered Casino Royale in Monte Carlo, which, at least on screen, was also a mythical property. So, yeah, I mean, so many television programs and movies have been filmed purportedly in Las Vegas, or at least have used some exteriors in and around Las Vegas, pretending to be there. And I mean, it is a testament to one of our favorite cities, and probably our favorite city, at least some of us, just how many TV shows and movies have felt the need to pay homage to Las Vegas and what it's all about. And I mean, I can think of shows like Friends, or even like Saved by the Bell, where at some point they end up supposedly in Las Vegas. At least the exteriors would suggest that as well. But yeah, no, still kind of getting back on our feet here in Nebraska after a very hectic week in Las Vegas last week. And again, kind of already starting to plot a strategy for the September birthday show. But for those of you showing up expecting to see lots of glitter and video clips and stuff, I'm sorry, but it is April Fool's, and that's how we're fooling you here today. Um, yeah, so again, I think I've mentioned this twice already, but any memories you have from TV or movies about fictional Vegas casinos and what you think about that, definitely want to hear about it in your show notes or in the comments below. And I'll definitely, as always, we'll get back to you on that. Um, Next week, we have got an interesting Wednesday show, which will actually have a few clips and kind of a new format. And we're not going to immediately get rid of the whole Vegas resorts thing. We're going to continue that through most all of the remaining Vegas resorts, but wanted to take a little break and talk a little bit about a little bit of a niche inside a lot of Vegas casinos. And I think you'll enjoy it, particularly if, like me, you enjoy sitting and playing and having a few beers. All right. We're going to wrap this up a few minutes early today, but hope everyone has a great week. I believe this is Easter's next Sunday. So, wow, we've made it all the way to April, and hopefully the weather will continue to warm around here and wherever you are. Anyway, I hope you have a great, lucky, and healthy week. We'll talk to you all again real soon. Bye-bye. Take care.